Eli Lilly shares are moving to the upside here. You're taking a look at gains of just about 8%. The move here to the upside comes as sales of its diabetes drug Mounjaro and also its weight loss drug Zepbound surged. The company blew past analyst expectations in its second quarter and also raised its full year revenue outlook. Here for a deeper dive into these results, we want to bring in Jared Holtz. He is Mizuho's healthcare equity strategist. Jared, lots to talk about here within this report, but at least on the surface, or really what's driving the action, is a lot of the excitement surrounding the weight loss drugs. Of course, one of the questions going into this print was the ability to meet demand. I guess now that we're getting maybe a clearer picture following the earnings report and also the call about what exactly the ability to maybe meet that supply constraint could be here in the second half, how big of a catalyst then do you see this being for the stock going forward?
Thanks so much for having me. Yeah, it's a major catalyst in terms of, the company's ability to get capacity at the point where they can meet the demand that's obviously out there in the market. It's kind of amazing when you look at the numbers that Eli Lilly is already generating in just the second full quarter of Zepbound being on the market. It's already annualizing basically at $5 billion, and we haven't even scratched the surface with respect to Europe and other geographies out of the US. So as soon as capacity kind of starts rolling here, I think you're going to see a lot of upside to numbers for the next few years.
And I'm curious too, Jared, because Novo Nordisk was first to market with weight loss drugs back in 2021, and then you had Eli Lilly coming along after the fact, but then moving ahead of Novo Nordisk, as we've seen in the latest earnings prints. What do you attribute that to?
I think it's just the amount of excitement there is in the market. We've seen so many clinical studies, not only showing how profound the weight loss is for these drugs, but that they're kind of preventative medicines in some respect, with cardiovascular benefits, with stroke benefit, heart failure, kidney failure, all these other medical conditions that the drug is very active in reducing. So we always talk about, drugs that are used once patients have already been diagnosed with something. In this case, they're preventative in many ways. Plus, you get 15 to 20% weight loss in less than a year. I just feel like so much more of the population is interested in this beyond just obesity. So I think those are the factors there.
It's interesting. I know that there are so many competitors in the space, and one that I'm looking at in particular is Hims & Hers, which is selling a compounded version of the drug. There are several out there. I feel like you can't really open Instagram these days without seeing several of them. To what extent is that a potential headwind for a stock like Eli Lilly?
It's already been a little bit of a headwind just from a narrative standpoint. Some of the compounders have been able to find success here early on because of the supply issues at Novo and Lilly. But now that they've both kind of allocated over $20 billion of funding into manufacturing just this year and will continue to do so, I think it limits the ability of the compounders to have kind of like elongated success in this market. I mean, most patients want the branded products, no doubt about it. These auto injectors are very easy to use. They take a couple seconds, when you use them as injections. That's versus the compounded product that's in a vial with a normal syringe. So I think for most patients, they want the branded product. The inability to get it has been the gating factor. So I would think Hims & Hers in this department, while still being a pretty good growth driver, is not that meaningful at the end of the day for either company.